Welcome to Marshmallow Glue. Today we are going to be making candy bar bouquets. I love these things and I hope you will love me showing you how to make them. I first started making them because I wanted to have something that I could have all the supplies on hand for birthdays. I teach a class of teenagers and about 30 kids a year, and I needed something I could just have on hand that I could replenish after I had used the supplies. So that's how I came up with this. I've been teaching for about 5 years, so I've made a lot of candy bar bouquets. I've also made them for relatives and friends, and you can do some things to it to add to it, so that makes it a little more exciting if you want a little bigger present. But I figure my cost, I buy these on sale at a craft store. They're clay pots. You could use any kind of base, it just needs to be heavy. These are pretty inexpensive, that's why I use them. So I usually buy them about 40% off, and my whole total cost for my candy bar bouquet is about $6 to $7, which for me that's a great price for a group of presents that if you're looking to buy a whole bunch of something. So let's get started. This is just a small pot. Usually I write on it happy birthday and the person's name with just a Sharpie, a fat one. And I'm not doing it on this one because I'm going to be using this for a church auction. So I just want it to be universal, but it's just kind of a fun touch just to write their name on it. Then you're going to need some dry foam. Also, you just buy it at the craft store. I always use a coupon, so it's on sale. If you're worried, you can measure this, but I've been making them for so long that I'm not going to measure it. But this, you need a sharp knife. If you don't have a sharp knife in your craft supplies, you need one. Or you can borrow one from your kitchen. So I'm going to cut it on an angle because you can see the pot is on an angle. So the styrofoam needs to be cut on an angle. So just cut this side and then you can kind of just eyeball it, and you need about that much foam. Just like that. Then you're just going to take your pot like this and squish your styrofoam so it's level with the top of your pot. So you can make your candy bar bouquet with big candy bars if you want to. That's going to increase your price. I use the miniature candy bars because I make these so often. I keep these in a little box so I can just replenish them. I was just getting a variety of colors. So Butterfingers are yellow, Snickers are brown. So just a variety of different sizes. Bigger ones I use are like Reese's cups and York patties. So you get just a little variety of sizes, but all bite size. That's what keeps your cost down. I probably have about 15 different kind of candy bars, and then I use 2 candy bars per each bouquet. So because I make these all the time, I have them in a little Ziploc labeled what they are, so I know when I need to replenish them. So I just keep them in the Ziploc, and then I just pull them out when I'm ready. So 2 per bouquet. You could put more, but you definitely can't really use less than that. So then I just go through each bag and start pulling them out until I have all of them opened. So there's 3 different categories. I have them sorted out for you. So there's a chunkier kind of thing that you're going to use in the middle. It's kind of odd shaped. On mine I have M&Ms, Reese's, Take 5, York patties, and Twix. They're going to be what's in the center. Also, if you wanted to make it more of a gift, like more expensive, you can also wrap a gift card and make that part of this too, which I've done in the past. Then you need some thin ones. These are go on the outside of your candy bar bouquet. So I have Crunch, Hershey's, Kit Kats, 2 different kinds because the label's white and orange, and then some Hershey's cookies and creams. Those are going to go on the outside because they're flat, and these are what make your bouquet chunky. So there's Baby Ruth, Mounds, Butterfingers, 100 gram. I just like these because they're tasty. Snickers, the dark Milky Way because their package is black. And so that just gives you some variety. You can use anything though. There's no rules to this. That's what's nice about it. It just is reflective of what you want to put into it. These are the key. I found these at Hobby Lobby, but I have seen them other places. They're a thin popsicle stick. You can use the regular big ones, but I highly suggest these thin ones instead. They're long. They're probably about 5 to 6 inches long, and they're not too bulky, which makes them easy to put in, and you don't see them very easily, because the big bulky ones I think you see, and you can't use the little skinny stuff because it's not strong enough to hold them. So I highly recommend these. I don't know exactly what they're called, but you can use a regular popsicle stick if you can't find these, so don't be stressed. Anything will work. So I used to use glue to tie it on the back, but after gluing my fingers so many times, I just decided I was going to try something else, and I used packaging tape. Packaging tape is strong enough to hold it. Scotch tape is too not thick enough. So I just use regular packaging tape. I know this comes in heavy duty and regular, and regular is what I use. So I just suggest you're going to cut off a couple pieces. Usually I put like 15 little pieces here together to make it fast. And you're going to start with your weird shaped things that are in the middle. So you take it on the back of your candy. You take your stick. You put your stick right in the middle and your tape right on top. Then this is important. You need to press over your tape so you make sure it seals. That way your popsicle stick or whatever stick you're using is not going to come through. Then you go into the center of your bouquet, just like that, and you just stick it in. So I always do mine because I like it to be universal. So I'm going to do one in the front, and the very exact same process. And I'm going to do the exact same candy in the back. You don't have to do that. I just like it to be universal that way. Now you're going to do that to the rest of your candy. So first is the bulk stuff. Just do all the bulk stuff. And you can just add it wherever you want to. Whatever you want to see, you're going to put in the front. Okay, so don't be stressed that it looks kind of weird because it's supposed to. You notice how I've tried to put everything in the middle, nothing on the outside. So all the weird shaped things that are kind of funky go in the middle. I've kind of just tried to mix them up. You can do whatever you want to, but that's the first step. All the chunky stuff is in the middle. After you're done with that step, you're ready to go to the flat candy. So just go ahead and get that. It's the same exact process, only the placement of where you're going to place it is going to be different.
Ready.
All right, this is just kind of an anal thing. This is me, but you can do whatever. I try to always get the candy going the same way so that it looks a little bit more universal. All right, these are your outside layer. So you're going to put them on an angle like this going in, and you want the base of the candy to be right at the very bottom of the pot, just underneath it. And I'm going to put one on one side and then another one on the very same side on the back. They're all going to be on an angle. This is what's going to give you a little bit of fullness. You can put your finger too right on that little popsicle stick so it won't slide through your tape, which happens sometimes. If that happens, you can just easily retape it. Sometimes the styrofoam's a little bit thicker, a little bit harder to push through. Okay, so I didn't have enough flat ones to go around the edge, so you're gonna have to take some of your fatty ones and put them so that the whole edge is covered. Just go right into, oops, I just broke that stick. Remember I told you not a big deal, you just can take another piece of stick or another piece of tape and put it on there. So this is kind of a weird angle, so I gotta push really easily on that one. Okay, so I'm gonna fix this one, put it back in, and then I'm just gonna go right along the edge until it's full. I think that's good. Okay. Now I have all these fat ones and you're just going to fill in the holes. So go right along the edge first so that you don't see any of the styrofoam. You want them to just think it's magically in there. And I always try to, like, you know, put them in different places so you don't have like 2 baby Ruths next to each other. And also look for the color combination so you don't have 2 black ones next to each other. You can kind of mix it up a little bit. And these sticks are not the strongest, but that's what I like about them, is they're not too fat that you don't see them. So you just kind of have to be careful. Don't push too hard that you're breaking them. And then always remember to hold kind of on the back side of it. That will help you also not to break them. Okay, so you can see it's starting to get full. So I only have a few candies left. So I'm going to look for spots that are empty empty holes. And I'm going to try to fill it. If you got some that are too small, you can pull them up a little bit. Don't worry about these, because when you wrap it, they're going to go away. Okay, and then if you want to just take a look at it, see if you like it, if there's anything you want to change. I still have a couple of holes right here, so I'm going to just add a couple of candies. So I'll just go back to my stash and pick out a couple more. It all just kind of depends on how you put it together. Sometimes that happens, or sometimes it seems too full. So it's just, each one is unique. All right, we made it. That's it. Now we're gonna wrap it. I love the wrapping, and it kind of pulls it all together. But imagine you are your nephew or your niece or your aunt or your grandma, and you get this, and I just think it's so fun because there's a lot of variety. They can share with their friends or their siblings and pick out their favorite, and it'll last them either a night or a week, just depending on how hungry they are. But I think it's just a really fun gift to give. So let me show you. There's some supplies in life that are yours, like individually yours. This is mine. Cellophane. I live for cellophane. I have bought so much cellophane over the years, but here at Marshmallow Glue, we love cellophane. So you can watch a whole different clip on cellophane, but I'm just going to show you how to use cellophane for this. I buy a thicker kind. You can look at the bottom and tell you where I purchased it at. I always use a coupon. I always have some in supply, a couple extra rolls, but this is how I use it. I always tape the end. This is the thing with cellophane. It comes unraveled really easily, but if you just put a little piece of tape on the end, it's so much easier to work with. So I'm going to roll this out. You need kind of a big table space to roll it. This is about how much I use for my candy. I'll show you in comparison. Here's the bouquet. And I use a little extra because I don't want to be stressed about not having enough to fit. So you're just going to take your cellophane and cut it. Try to take little chops. That also helps with your unraveling. Take a little piece of tape. Do yourself a favor. Put it on the end so the next time you use it, you will have that on there and it'll be easier to pull and it won't tear. All right, we're going to wrap this guy. So if I had writing on there, I would try to make that the front. Because I don't have writing on this one, it doesn't matter. You can take it about 4 inches from the bottom. So you got a big piece on this part and a little piece on this part. You're going to take a little piece of tape, and then you're going to have a piece of tape ready. You're going to tape that one edge right to your pot or whatever you're using. Your cellophane is on an angle, so you're going to roll it like that. So you just simply roll your cellophane until you get to the edge. I like my edge to be really tight. So you pull your tight. You don't need to double it. You can if you want to, but you just pull it tight like this and then fold this little piece underneath so it's on an angle. And then just tape right over it. So you're going to have this little tail out the bottom. You're going to cut the tail off so it's about 2 inches because right now it's a little bit too much. Okay, then we're just going to tape that bottom. It takes about 2 pieces. Just like if you're folding a package, you're just going to fold the ends in until you have a little piece at the bottom. Fold it over, tape it on. That's why you wanted to cut some off because you don't want too much on the bottom. And then one more piece just to secure it. Okay, and you're going to fold up. your bouquet like this. You're going to find where the seams, that's going to be your back, where the seams are, right there. I'm going to go ahead and tape that because I don't want it to unravel. So we're going to add a little bit more tape to that, right up where the seam is. So you can see I went up about that far on the candy bar bouquet.
Ready.
Look how cool I am. I have it in our school colors, green and blue, but whatever ribbon you want. You can use a big fat ribbon if you want. This is the kind I like. It comes a whole bunch on one roll, so I use this one. I'm going to use green today. So I'm going to use about 24 inches. So it's about your arm width, about that far twice. And cut that off. Okay, this is key on how you wrap it. So you get your back in the back, and then you're going to pull little tiny pieces at a time to the top. So that you don't have like a big bulk area. Okay, once you have that even, you find your front. Put your ribbon in the middle. And then you're just going to tie a really pretty bow. We're really close to the end here. Your bouquet's looking awesome. Okay, we're going to chop off the top, probably about 4 inches up at first. Okay, and then you're starting the back. If you have any piece of tape left, you're going to cut that off. And then I think this is a little too big, so I'm going to cut it down even a little bit more. Just up to you on how much you want on the top. And then this is an important thing when you're using cellophane. You don't want just to be flat like that. If you cut it up on an angle, here and there, a little just pull it out and just chop it on an angle. It kind of gives it more of a crispy look, I think, and not so bulky. Okay, so you have about that much on the top. Just trim it however you like it. You can see your bow, and then there's one more piece to this. You need a pretty big piece of tape. You want to create the bouquet to have like a bottom. So this goes around the front, and you're just going to wrap it around your pot so that it creates, your bouquet kind of goes like this because of that. That's it. Pretty simple. I hope these pieces of information helped you and that your bouquet is going to be awesome, and whoever you give it to is going to love it. Thanks for joining us at Marshmallow Glue.